Hey there, hi, welcome to the channel. I am Garrett, and in this video, we are talking all about some of the worst offenses out there. Yes, we're talking about tacky decor that I hope you don't have, but if you do, this is the perfect opportunity for you to let it go. Now, before we get into the video, you do need to know that one of the pups will be coming with a special PSA, so stay tuned for that. The first tacky thing we have to talk about that I'm begging everyone to please let go is all of the themed decor. You know, I don't love a theme. The theme of my life is glamour, beauty, elegance, sophistication. I don't need to have a beach theme. I don't need to have a tropical theme. I don't need to have like all of this and that going on. Now, I think you can have a nod and a wink at things. Like we all love the Palm Beach aesthetic, okay? It's beautiful. We like a tropical moment. You can do a little Art Deco. You can do something a little tropical. That's cool, but we don't need to be like, well, we're in Palm Beach. We don't need to have a theme about it, and every single thing needs to be relating to that. I don't need to see the words on the wall. I don't need to see all of this and that. You can have an overall design that references to something, but we don't need to have a direct theme. And I think that also goes for children's rooms, right? We love for kids' rooms to be fun, to be vibrant, and for them to express their personality. But as kids grow, their personality or the things they enjoy change. So you want to have that space be convertible. So maybe we don't put too much money into having, custom wallpaper and drapes printed and their favorite cartoon themed. You want to have things that can definitely be swapped out so that the space grows with those kids. And the same thing goes for your home. You want to have a space that's convertible enough that it looks like whatever it is you love, but doesn't have some over dramatic theme happening that we all can't relate to, or maybe isn't everybody's favorite thing, because you might get tired of it. And then if you're theming your house after your favorite hotel, maybe you don't want to go to that favorite hotel because now you live there. That just sounds sad. And the same thing goes for you. As you get older and you grow up and you mature, you're probably not gonna be thinking like, hey, I want this theme forever. Maybe you're gonna wanna change things out. So putting too much money into a theme like that is just a waste, because when you let those things go, you're just letting them go and you're getting rid of them, and that's that, and then you're replacing them all with something else. So be mindful of what you're doing. If you really, really love something, if you love a theme, that's okay, but just think about, okay, how can I bring this into the space in a way that's convertible, or a way that I could take it out later on, instead of just wallpapering everything in the house with whatever that theme is. Of course, you should do what you want, and it doesn't matter if I think it's tacky, but ultimately don't send your photos to me asking what I think of it, okay? Let's make that clear. The next tacky thing that I can't stand to see, although I do love to see so I can make fun of behind closed doors, is a giant clock. You all know how I feel about this. I've talked about it before, and I'll talk about it again probably too, because I just think it's the funniest thing in the world, these giant clocks. Now, I completely understand the need for a large scale something to hang on the wall. It doesn't always have to be artwork. It could be something interesting like a tapestry, or just something cool, a sculptural moment, but does it have to be a clock? Because a giant clock says, here's the time. And when your guests come over, it's here's the time to go home. It's reminding me of all the things I have to get done today. I'm timing out everything I'm doing. Okay, the seconds hand is ticking by, and it's like, 4 stories high. I know what time it is. Okay, this isn't Big Ben. This is your living room. So we don't need to have the giant clock reminding us of the exact time everything is. Although I did see something really cute today that was this person had different clocks for different time zones that all of her kids lived in. That was adorable. You could do that, and I would be like, why do you have 4 clocks there? And you could go on a story about it and it would tell me everything. Oh, love that for you. I think that's really cool. I would rather actually see like an entire wall covered in different clocks than I would just one giant clock. But if you have a ton of clocks, you want to hang them on a wall, I say go for it. But like the singular large clock, I just feel like we're over it. I feel like it's a little tacky. It's kind of like, okay, we know what was going on. You probably had a farmhouse style at some point. You got the giant clock because you absolutely had to have it, so rare, such a special find at some store, that like, okay, you have the giant clock, but we can move past it. Because a giant clock is just telling me the time. It's not giving me anything else. And I don't need to know the time. I have a watch, I have a phone, it tells me the time. I don't need to be reminded of it, especially if we're like hanging out and enjoying each other. I don't need to be like, oh, 6:30, oh, 6:35, oh, 6:40. I don't need to know about it. There are just so many better alternatives out there that actually say something about you and that lend themselves to enhancing the space, like oversized artwork, like tapestry, like sculpture on your wall. There's so many cool things. You could even just have a cool wallpaper or an accent wall. Those are so much better than a clock, because a clock is, like I said, it's not telling you anything other than the time. If you need to know the time, I guess that's a good thing. But I feel we can move on from the giant clock. You can donate it to an office building or, you know, some sort of place that needs it, maybe a school, so the kids know what time they're getting out of class, because that's what it's giving us. You can let it go. And I feel very good about that for you. While we're on the topic of wall decor, let's talk about something that is tacky that I see all of the time, and I actually just witnessed when I was editing the last video in one of the photos I showed you, and that's matching artwork. That's not really matching, it's just the same artwork. So this image I'm gonna put up right here, you can see there are two paintings here and they look very similar. Well, that's because they're identical. One of them is just hung on upside down or sideways or something like that, okay? They're literally the same piece of art. I can't stand this, and I see it all of the time. Let's be real, what it's saying to us is home decor store that had matching artwork, and you were like, oh, you know what, instead of getting two pieces that are different in the same size, I'm gonna get two of the exact same piece and hang one of them upside down. I noticed that. I immediately see it and I'm like, those are the same paintings, just one of them is upside down. And to me, it doesn't look like character driven. It doesn't look like a lot of thought is put into it. It looks like we needed some art. This is a good size or the right color, so get it. I would much rather see you go to a smaller artist, get an art print, get two of them from the same collection that are, you know, different, and have them printed out and hung. It doesn't have to be expensive, but it does have to be thoughtful, and it has to represent you. That's what artwork is. It's all about expression, whether that's your expression or the artist's expression. You want something that says something about you. Like this piece behind me works really beautifully with the color scheme of this room. It's a scene of Piccadilly Circus in London, and it kind of works with the entire aesthetic. I saw it and really liked it, and then I thought, oh, you know what, I can take that color out and pull it into my space. It works with the table and my accessories and decor. That's what you want out of artwork, not necessarily just something that fills a space. Although with that said, you may need something to fill a space, but that doesn't mean you should just rush out and get two of the same thing and hang one of them upside down. We can all see it, we all know, and it looks like like a hotel lobby, like a semi-luxury hotel lobby when you do that, and that's not the vibe we want to give. That's not the aesthetic you want for your home. Artwork should say something about you, and it should be something you genuinely enjoy. Or maybe it's something you don't like and it's something you like to laugh at. Hang that on your walls too, and then let me laugh at it with you. I love that for us, but that's not the point. Let's talk about something else that's tacky that everyone agrees on, you all know, and that is when people put pillows on their corners. Pillows are square, they're not diamonds. Let's clear that up, okay? Pillows on their corners. It does look a little dated, and I think we can move past it. It actually kind of looks like styled and staged, which to me feels a little tacky. And I just feel like put the pillow on its side. Just put it on its side and that's fine. You don't have to karate chop it. You know, I like the double chop, hit it at the top and then the side double chop so it's nice and fluffy but not overly staged. I think that's great, but the whole like pillow on its corner thing, I don't personally get it, and they're never fluffed. They're always like a flat pillow. It looks to me like a beach resort timeshare somewhere from the 80s. That's what it's giving. Turn the pillow on its side. It's as simple as that. You don't have to get new pillows. You don't have to replace everything. Just turn it on its side and it looks so much better. Put it in the corner of the sofa. Oh, that's fantastic. Let's also talk about the fact that we don't need too many pillows. This is not a pillow factory. This is not a pillow showroom. Maybe it is a pillow showroom, at which point it would be acceptable for you to have 27 pillows on your sofa, but I don't think it is, so we can keep it to like 3 to 4, maybe 5 if you're doing a bolster pillow, but even that's kind of a lot, so I would steer clear of that. My sofa has one pillow. It has one pillow and then a blanket, and that's it. You know, you don't need to have a ton of pillows. You can have one that's really impactful, and that's enough. And it should not be on its corner, so be mindful of that. And also consider the shape of the pillow, how you're layering them together to determine the style you're trying to achieve. If you want to bring a more classic traditional element to the space, do 2 square pillows that are different sizes, maybe like an 18 by 18, a 16 by 16, you're good to go. If you have a more modern sofa, look for a lumbar style pillow that's longer to enhance that really linear line the sofa probably has. That can feel a lot more modern and a lot more minimal, which is great in terms of styling a modern or contemporary temporary space. But don't have too many pillows, and definitely don't have them on their corners. We can all agree on that. Here's Albert, everybody, and he has a PSA, something everyone needs to consider. And Albert, what do you have to say to them? We're waiting. Nothing? Okay. What he has to say is more treats for dogs. More treats for dogs, more walks for dogs, and that's also very true, Albert. If you made it this far in the video, everyone should take a moment and hit that subscribe button and join us here, become a part of the LeChic family, and give this video a like. Is that all you have to say, Albert? Is there anything else? Oh yes, I know. I love you too. Okay, we're gonna go out. We're gonna go out and go for a little walk. Well, you probably won't be walking. I'll hold you, but Linus and Cornelius will walk. Love that for you. Okay, let's get back to the video. When it comes to this next thing, you have to be careful, and that is wallpaper. Not all wallpaper is good, not all wallpaper is bad, and I definitely love some of it. I'm a huge fan of murals. I love a nature scene. I think that's fantastic, but what really gets me, what looks very tacky in my opinion, is an oversized floral wallpaper. It just feels juvenile. It can feel overly graphic, and it takes away from everything that's happening in the space. I know it seems like an accent wall, a bold moment, but literally just do that and leave the room empty, because that's all we're seeing anyway. It, to me, is just too much. And like I said, tends to have a juvenile feel to it, which can be good if you're a young person, if you're decorating your 7-year-old's bedroom, maybe your 12-year-old would appreciate it as well. Love that for her. But it can be a little bit much. So if it was me, I would look for something in the same color scheme, but just smaller scale that has a little bit more of a classic reference to it, because when you try and do something that bold and that graphic, it can often become very dated very quickly. It can look very juvenile very quickly, and you get over it really quickly as well. Hanging wallpaper, not cheap, not easy, not for everyone. And if you're going out of your way to do that, you don't want to spend a ton of money on something that's going to look dated very quickly, or something that just kind of looks tacky to begin with. Now, if you have this, you could paint the space in a similar color as the background, or even one of the main colors that's really vibrant, to kind of get it to fade away. That could be a good way to enhance this and make it look a little more mature, sophisticated, and blend in a little bit more. But overall, the giant graphic, oversized wallpaper that's just like floral, it's a little much. It's kind of like a graphic sticker you're putting in a kid's bedroom of a superhero. Like, wow, we're walking in there and we can see that. You clearly love it. Good for you. But that's not what you want in your living room or your office or somewhere that's meant to be relaxing to you. That's something that works in a kid's room that's really fun and bold and over the top. But even then, you want to be careful what you're bringing into those kids' rooms, like we previously said, because they are going to get over it as they mature, as they grow up. So are you going to want to repaper that all of the time? Probably not. Pick something that you're going to like in the long term, especially if you're spending a lot of money on it, like you will on wallpaper. Now that you've learned some of my secrets and things that I think you're ready to let go of, be sure you head right over here to this video and check it out to learn some things interior designers never do. So we don't have to see them in your home, and you don't have to either. Be sure you check it out, and I will see you over there.